Would not detain them as they fly. Cal Stewart was born in 1858 and died in 1919. So all this stuff is over 100 years old. All right? And he created this character, Uncle Josh Weathersby, who was a New England farmer. The name of the story is Uncle Josh Buys an Automobile. Available on records, cylinder and 78s, which I have both. And in a book, which he wrote in the real early 1900s. You ready? Well, sir, I've done it. I've gone and bought an automobile. Nancy said the Weavers had one and the Willets had one, and nothing would do her but that we should have one of them. I'll show you the difference here. Okay, that's without the horn.
Nancy said the Willets had one and the Weavers had one, and here we was riding around in a buckboard behind a bone-spabbing horse what had spring halls and was blind on the off side.
Well, I didn't hanker for that kerosene wagon, but in order to keep peace in the family, I sold 10 ton of hay, my oats and corn, and took out a mortgage on the farm and ordered one out of a mail order catalog. Well, it come last week, and Nancy ain't been so tickled over anything since her crazy quilt won a prize at the county fair as she was over that joy wagon.
Well, I didn't hanker for that gasoline wagon, but in order to keep peace in the family, I sold 4 head of cattle, my oats and corn, 20 hogs, 10 ton of hay, and put a mortgage on the farm and bought an automobile. I picked it out of a mail order catalog and had the Farmers National Bank of Punkin Center send them the money. While in about a week it come to freight, and we got it unloaded, and Jim Lawson hauled it up to our front yard, and I think all Punkin Center turned out to see it. And Nancy ain't been as tickled over anything since her crazy quilt took a prize at the county fair as she was over that joy wagon.
Well, I felt it in my bones had made a fool of myself. Well, I soon would, so we got all ready to take Nancy, Jim Lawson, and Ezra Hoskins out for a ride. Well, I got out the book of rules, and the more I read it, the less I knew about the innards of that machine. Just about all the Punkin Center was there and giving advice. Elijah Willett said maybe I ought to lead it around for a spell and offer it some oats. And
Hank Weaver said maybe I ought to lead it around for a spell until it got to know me. And Cy Pettingill said maybe I hadn't watered it yet, and Deacon Witherspoon wanted to offer prayer. Well, I grabbed hold of that crank again, and it flew back and hit me on the shins, and I sat down in the yard to think it over, and Nancy said the language I used was just shameful.
Deacon Witherspoon wanted to offer prayer. Well, just then someone says, "Don't this plug go in somewhere?" And we found where it went, and I turned that crank, and it flew back and hit me in the shins, and I had to sit down in the yard to think it over. And Nancy said the language I used was just shameful. Well, somebody says you better try it over again, so I turned that crank again, and that machine commenced to rear and snort and took off crosslots and took everything with it. It run over Hank Weaver's dog, tore a hole through Willett's picket fence, and knocked down Cy Pettingill's beehives, and kept right on a-going, bees and all. Well, I worked every lever that machine had, and every one made it go faster.
Nancy was screaming, Ezra Hoskins was praying, mind, it wouldn't be right to tell what Jim Lawson was doing, but Nancy said it sounded like he was talking to the Lord.
Just then we went through half-wintered wheat field
And started on fire, and I managed to steer it onto the turnpike road, but that didn't help matters any, 'cause it only hit the road once in a while. It tore down the toll gate, ripped out one side of the covered bridge, then started off through Gabe Fisher's pasture. It killed 4 sheep and a calf, and then run into a haystack.
Run into a haystack and blowed up. Gosh, all I got to show for that joyride is some rubber tires, 6 lawsuits, and a mortgage on the farm. Nancy says if we ever own another one, we're going to have a regular chiffonier to run it. Well, I ain't saying much, but I think that all my joyriding will be done in the old buckboard wagon. Let's end with that one.
I ain't saying much, but I've got a lingering suspicion that all my joyriding will be done in the old buckboard wagon.
There's where different versions come in. Another version, when he ran into the haystack, it blowed up. And this was, he hadn't figured that out yet. He added it later on.
I don't care. For we stand on Jordan's strand.
I put it away here somewhere.
Well, wherever you put it, that's where it is. Our friends are passing over.
I wish you'd stop singing for a while and help me find that fish line.
I wish you'd stop fishing for a while and put up the kitchen stove. And just before
You can do all the cooking you know how to do on the fireplace.
I cooked for 3 different men before I married you, the shining shore.
Yes, and they're all dead now.
I know another one that's dead, only he's too stingy to have a funeral.